Hi, welcome to Yin. My name is Karen, and I will guide you through just a simple Yin restorative. It's all about relaxing. The Yin part is about really strengthening the connective tissue, the deep ligaments, and then restores complete relaxing. But before we get started, let's just take a nice little moment to meditate. Sitting on the bolster will just allow the hips to open more, eyes closed. Hands, palms could be down or up. You can even stack right over left. And we're just going to start by breathing normally, just checking in. And just ask yourself, how do you feel? Maybe let your mouth relax a little bit and soften the eyes. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. And just breathe. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale out the mouth, just side out. Let's do that again. Inhale, deep, deep, deep. And let it go. So even in a Yin restore practice, I'm blending both styles together today. Set an intention for your practice, whatever is going on in your life. This is the beauty of a yoga practice. And we can start doing the Ujjayi breathing. This is a type of breath that will calm the nervous system down, heat the body up from the inside out. Inhaling through the nose like you're sipping through a straw, all the way to the back of the throat. And then exhale deep through the nose or the mouth. So you have some options here today while you're practicing. Let's take 5 more deep breaths. We'll be concentrating on opening up our hips, the back of our legs. And within our hips, we hold a lot of emotion. It's the second chakra. So that's why we want to breathe a little deeper and relax a little bit more into that. And then slowly bring your hands into prayer, Anjali Mudra. One of my favorite mudras. Bowing inward to prayer, bowing into your heart center, the gateway to intuition. Before we start our practice, we're going to do the sound of Om just one time. It's the universal sound of energy. You don't have to be a singer to do Om. Just tuning in together. We inhale deep. And allowing now the hands just to come back down. Just flutter the eyes open. And we're going to start with our first posture. So we're going to do child's pose as our first kind of Yin restore posture. Now you have options here depending on how, open you are or not. So you can use the bolster if you need to, or toes to touch, knees wide, so you're getting into the hips right away. I like to sometimes take the bolster and kind of use it like this. So with our practice, one thing about a Yin restore practice is that you're going to sink into these postures for about 4 minutes, okay? And if it gets uncomfortable, just let me know. You can always use a blanket if you want under your sit bones. So Philip, if you want to do that, you can always do that too. You know, if you wanted to take the blanket under your feet, yeah, if you want, yeah. Right here, more like that, yeah. See, that gives you a little lift. Okay. Are you good? Everyone good? So the beauty of sitting deep into postures, this is where the huge opening happens. Unlike regular yoga practices, we kind of sail through postures. Going back to your breath. Going back to your intention. And just breathing deep. If it starts to get uncomfortable, start to breathe a little deeper into the posture, maybe into the hips. If it's hard for you to relax, breathe a little deeper. Maybe 7 to 8 counts of inhalation, slight pause. 7 to 8 counts of exhalation. It's okay if your mind wanders, that's perfectly fine. Perhaps just take a moment and maybe recognize what your thoughts are and then let them go, just kind of file them away. Not that they'll never come back up, but just keep opening and cleansing your mind, your body, your soul. And as you breathe deeper, start to see the breath as white, light, healing energy. You actually can now see the breath as not just air, but actually healing your body. So we have the power to heal our body from just adding this white light, positive thoughts. It doesn't have to be complex. Maybe your thought is, I'm happy, right? It could be that simple. It doesn't have to be a long mantra. Maybe your mantra is, I'm healthy. So for the next few breaths, maybe pick a mantra that speaks to you. Could be, I'm loving, I am strong, I am willing or able to help others, whatever that is, especially right now. And can you deepen your breath? especially with a yin restore type class. It's sometimes seems like your body's not doing a lot, but you're actually really getting deeper and deeper into the connective tissue. And the only way to get deeper and deeper into that connective tissue is by allowing the body to rest in a posture, both active and surrender at the same time for a period of at least 4 to 5 minutes. Sometimes in a straight yin class it's 10 minutes, but today we'll do about 4 to 5 minutes in each posture. And for these last 12 deep breaths, maybe start to send the sit bones back to your heels more. Maybe it might not happen, might not go there, but it's the intention that drives the sit bones to the heels. Maybe can you reach your fingertips out a little bit more, reaching to the top of the mat for these last few breaths, and at the same time, draw the shoulder blades back and down, creating space from your ears to your shoulders. So we're always creating space. Three more deep breaths. Perhaps take that huge pause at the top of the inhalation. Huge pause at the bottom of the exhalation. And then together we come as a community. We'll take a deep breath through the low belly, the side ribs, the heart, and then sigh it out. One more. Inhale deep through the low belly, side ribs, the heart, and then let it go. Slowly come out of this. Now your knees are going to feel kind of tight. Just come on out. And we're actually move the bolster away, remove the blanket. Did that blanket help? It's nice, huh? And let's just do a down dog for a moment because your legs are, so you really even here, let's do a very conscious down dog. So spread the fingers like spokes on a wheel, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, tuck the toes, and so slow, I want you to push away. Push the fingers forward as the shoulder blades go back, and you start to find your down dog. Now here, we're gonna take 5 breaths. Nice. Both of you have great down dogs. Feel it, bend the knees just a little bit. Yeah, and draw the heart, yeah. Nice. Both of you have very nice doggies. Draw the shoulders back and down, yep. Don't worry if the heels don't touch the floor. Doesn't matter, that's the end result of a posture. Okay? Now, if you can, take your left hand and try to grab the right calf. Yeah, on the outside. Yep, I know it's a little tricky. It's like rubbing your nose and rubbing your belly at the same time. And then you can look under, does that feel good? It's opening up just a little bit before we go into our next posture. Keeping the hips square, wonderful. And then the other side, so go slow. Just a nice stretch. Yeah, I know, it's a little bit of like balancing, stretching, opening up the side body. This gives you a little break, so when we go into the next posture for 5 minutes, right? Take a deep breath, and then exhale, relax. So now what we're gonna do is walk to the top of the mat. We're gonna do a forward fold for 5 minutes. So this is old school yin. So get comfortable first, right? I really want you to feel it. If you want your bolster maybe in front of you where you can put your hands on the floor, you can. Now before we go into just this forward fold, you just let your head down. Forward fold, that's all you're gonna do. Sometimes if you want something, you can have your bolster in front of you, you just wanna put your hands on your bolster, you know? Before we sit into this though, let's talk about a good forward fold. Yeah, Philip, you already did it. I love that you bent your knees. So the biggest problem with forward fold sometimes is people will push on the back of their knees, they'll hyperextend. I want you to feel the weight more in the forefoot, like actually feel your big toe and your baby toe pushing down, yep. And you can keep your knees bent too. So we'll soon feel how forward fold is. You're gonna do 4 to 5 minutes. This is an inversion. This is like being in handstand without jumping around. Are we ready? Inhale deep. Exhale, side out. Completely relax. So we're getting into now the hamstrings, right? This will help the low back. So if you're sitting all day long, especially a lot of us, no matter if our career doesn't involve the computer, we're on the computer, right? And what's amazing about this posture, that it's very simple. It's one of the, first postures created in Hatha Yoga. It's one of the first 15 postures. So it doesn't have to be difficult to have a lot of benefit, okay? Shake out the head, yes or no. And start to breathe in your journey of forward fold. You can actually start to send the breath. Maybe visualize the breath going up the top of the legs as your inhalation happens. And then down the bottom and the back of your legs. Maybe you can visualize that you're like a waterfall, just dripping over, surrendering completely. Or maybe in this time, you can start looking at your toes, right? Your toes are so important, your feet, spreading the toes and giving each toe a lot of love, right? Continue your forward fold. As you're in forward fold, look at your feet. Both of you have a nice stance, so making sure that your feet are parallel. Making sure that the sides of the feet are in line with the sides of the mat. The second toe is in line with the ankle and the knee. And shake out your head a little bit, yes and no again. The benefits of forward fold is reversal of blood flow. You're deepening your hamstrings and the connective tissue all the way into your low back. The cervical spine is relaxed. Can you get deeper into your breath? We'll do a little breath work. We inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale out. Ha. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale it out. Now on your own like that for about 7 rounds, because everybody has a different breath pattern. So you're inhaling, you're holding for the same amount, and then exhaling. Try to stay with it. Try to relax the shoulders away from the ears. And your gaze could be at the navel. When it starts feeling a little hard holding a posture this long, deepen your breath. You have about 12 more deep breaths. You're doing a great job. Close the eyes and just let go. Go back to your intention. Surrender a little deeper. Three more deep breaths. Inhale deep. Exhale, sigh it out. Inhale deeper. And then slowly start to roll up, ragdoll, one vertebra at a time. And then reach the arms all the way up. So how does that feel? Forward fold, right? Such a simple breath, simple posture. Exhale. But it's so wonderful in stretching you out. Let's do one full sun salutation before the next posture. How does that sound? Inhale, hands overhead. Nice and slow and yummy. Exhale, forward fold, flat back. Inhale, flat back, hands on the shins. Take that pause. Find your plank pose. Now stay there for a moment. Maybe you bring your knees down, maybe not. Take a breath here. Lower down chaturanga, knees, chest, chin, or from plank. Inhale, cobra or up dog, shoulders back, nice. Open up the heart, breathe. Exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, you're gonna lift your right leg high. Take a pause, please. Both of you have such great practices. So nice. The foot is down, the toes are pointing down, the inner thigh comes up. And push the wall back, a lot of energy. At the same time, push your fingers into the earth, draw the shoulder blades back. Exhale into a low lunge. So we're going to go into lizard, yay, or maybe not. So you can lower the back knee down if you want, grab a blanket if you want it under, or I can give you a blanket. Do you want a blanket? No? You can have your bolster if you want near, so you want to bring your hands inside. If you want to use that, you can. We're going to start with our hands straight for a moment, not for a moment. And I am timing you so that you feel good on each side. We're not going to give one side more hip opening or not, right? Even here, before we totally surrender into this posture, I want you to feel the front heel trying to scissor to the back toes. There's that feeling of hugging in, and you've heard this from many yoga teachers. So in yoga, we never completely just let it all go, right? There's always a yin and there's a yang. Then draw the right hip back a little bit, and then can you draw the navel to the spine as the flesh of the buttocks goes down? It's just slight. Keep that, and then draw the shoulders away from the ears, yeah. And now you can surrender into the posture however you want. If you want to come on your forearms, if you would like the bolster on the forearms, can, right? Or not, I'll put it right there. If you want your, adjust. And I promise I'll time you correctly on each side. You can have toes under or flat. You know, kind of play with it. Some people love their toes tucked, some people like it flat. Before we get in deep with this, let's just take a nice deep breath together. Exhale, sigh it out. Go back to your intention, go back to your breath. Getting deep into the hip flexors. So as you're releasing the hips to the earth, still find a way of drawing in. It's a type of isometric feeling, right? And this is where you become very strong in these postures. So the connective tissue is it's strengthening and lengthening at the same time. Perhaps go back to the breath work. 5 to 6 counts of breath in. Hold it for 5 to 6 counts. And if you can, exhale it out for 5 to 6 counts. Soften the space between your eyes. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Let the hips soften, but at the same time drawing the navel to the spine, so you're doing a little bit of a lift in the pelvic floor. That's kind of where that yin yang happens, right? What's interesting about this type of practice is that if you come from like a vinyasa flow, right, where you're always powering through, I always thought that this type of practice would be so easy, like, oh my gosh, they're not doing anything, until you do it and you're going, wow, this takes a lot of effort. You have about 12 more breaths. You're doing great. So this music, you might have already picked it up a little bit on the heartbeat. It's a sound artist that put this music together for the heart chakra. So if you're just kind of get lost into the music, you can feel the heart. About 5 more deep breaths. And then we come together, take a deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. I'm going to give you a moment to either do down dog or something to shake out the hips, slowly go back. Or you can do a half split, nice suggestion there. Yeah, something to just kind of unravel right into the hips. And before we go to the other side, we're going to do a deep forward fold, which would feel really good right about now, right? I wasn't in that position with you, but I was just feeling it. So we want to draw the thighs back, and you can sit up on your blanket or bolster. And we're not going to be in here too long. This is just to give us a little, I don't know about you guys, there's sometimes if I stay in a yin posture, a couple times in Chris' class, I almost needed him to, I was like, can you get me out of it? Because the acid and stuff, right? But it's really good for you. So strong, draw the toes back. You guys have great toes, happy feet, right? Once you do inhale, reach up, always hinging out from the hips. So always reach way out. Go as far as you can. I don't care if the hands just land here on the shins, wherever. If you can grab your toes, great. If not, now take a deep breath, draw the shoulder blades back, and now just surrender over. I'm just going to be here for about 12 breaths. I like the number 12 today, I guess. And even in this forward fold, can you reach more out of the low back? Drawing the hips up and over. Can you draw the toes back to you a little bit more? Stretching out the back of the legs. Great for the low back, the connective muscles in the low back. And then just surrender in this posture. Don't even think about activating. It's just complete surrender. Three more deep, deep breaths. Go back to that white light healing energy. And then inhale, reach way out with your hands, and then come up flat back. And then exhale, let's just do one reverse tabletop. So I like reverse tabletop, and you can do it where you just have your hands here. Even here though, check the shoulder blades, draw them back, draw the elbows in, press your feet down, make sure they're hip width. You might have to bring them in a little further. Inhale, and as you exhale, scoop the tailbone under and lift up. Right? Now keep lifting the tailbone up, the flesh of the buttocks to the back of the knees, if you can imagine that. And then the heart open a little bit more. Take a deep breath. And then exhale, lower down. Moving into the other side of lizard. Just find yourself in down dog, and then we'll go to the other side. Now, we will stay in this posture for about 5 minutes. So now the right leg, I think, right? Right leg up or left? Right, left leg. Yes, I'm so glad you guys flex the foot. You're listening. You're paying attention. Yay. Now really straighten the left leg a little more, Philip. Yeah, good. Take a couple more breaths here. As the leg is up, three-legged dog, don't collapse though. Push the fingers forward as the shoulders draw back more. And then square the hips a little bit, so drop, yeah. Great, now exhale. Go into a deep lunge first. Make sure you have your blanket ready if you need it. Bring the hands on the inside, and you can walk your foot out a little bit to the outside of the mat, yeah. So let's set ourselves up. Feel the front heel, kind of go to the back toes. Feel like you're squeezing a ball. It's a little bit of hugging in, so we're working now before we surrender. Draw the left hip kind of back so it levels the hip. Yep, just a little bit. And draw the navel in. A little bit of that navel lift. And then as you're pushing your hands down, shoulders go back, and then slowly lower the knee. Getting into this posture for 5 minutes. I know you enjoyed that on the other side. Start to bend the elbows and come all the way into the forearms. Now, for some of us, that's not possible. So you can have your bolster, you can have even a pillow, right? If you're at home and you don't have a bolster, grab a pillow and you can put your forearms on your pillow. It's okay. And even if you do yoga for a long time, you might, have some days where you're less flexible. We're hoping that we all do yoga until we're 150, right? Somewhere around there. So don't get caught up in your practice as if you're doing something wrong or right, and don't get caught up in the end result of what maybe a posture is supposed to look like. Sometimes we look at the magazines and we think, oh, that's what the posture is supposed to look like. It's more about it if for you. Every body is different. So it's about the alignment. And so your process. Let's go into a deep, deep meditation breath to carry you through this posture. And slowly, slowly go back to the deep breathing. Inhaling deep, deep through the nose. Exhaling deeper through the nose. There's still effort and surrender. So with restorative, we completely surrender. With the yin aspect, there's a little bit of effort so we can get deeper into the joints and connective tissue. Go back to the breathing of perhaps 5 or 6 counts of breath. Holding it and then letting it go. There's also this idea that your breath is your inner music, your inner voice. That's why in a lot of traditional yogas there wasn't music, because the music was your breath. That your breath is actually on a higher vibration. So we're going to take some time here and just let your breath be your music. Going back to your intention, going back to your inner voice. You're about halfway through, or a little bit more than halfway through. So keep breathing deeper. Perhaps you can breathe even deeper. And as the music starts to come back in, how does your breath play into that sound? About 12 more breaths. And these last few breaths, perhaps ignite a little bit more. Can you sip in maybe 2 more deep breaths at the top of the inhalation pause? Can you lengthen the breath on the exhalation and pause deep? So So some of the old yogis will say, it's the quality of your breath. It's not how many breaths you take. It's the quality of everything we do. It's kind of cool, right? And our breath is something we have right here. We're lucky to have it. About 5 more deep breaths. You're doing great. Your hips are loving you, I promise. I hope you're smiling. I think I see some smiles, right, Philip? You're smiling? How about we come together, we take a deep, deep breath in, and then exhale. So just like the other side, come out of this. If whatever you did on the one side, do the same thing on the other. So if you did a child's pose, or if you want to do like a half split, do what you feel you need. You can move your legs around. You guys really worked hard there because that was the deepest posture we've done. That was 5 minutes on each side. So what we're going to do is we're going to come on our bellies and we're going to finish with just 2 more postures. We're going to do more of a heart opening, all right? Because we worked on the hips and the low back. So I want you to come into Sphinx first. So with Sphinx, you can grab your elbows. It's a nice way to kind of stack. And then bring your hands, your forearms down and spread your fingers. Yep. Right? Now, this is all we have to do is shake your booty just a little bit. So you don't want to like squeeze the booty here. But even here, feel like the toes root into the floor, right? 10 toes. Draw the navel in, and then draw the shoulders away, and then just lift. Your gaze isn't looking up. I know a lot of people like to look up, but there's a chin lock that's really nice. So you kind of draw the chin down and back. And this action of the chin lock will definitely strengthen your cervical spine, the neck. And since we kind of hunch all day long, I look at my cell phone too, right? So that action actually curls the neck too much. We're not going to be here as long as the other posture. Just a couple minutes to just get into the low back a little bit more. So if you have a weak low back, actually gentle heart openers like this one will strengthen your low back. And then close the eyes. And as you are closing the eyes and just breathing, feel the hands root into the floor. Actually spread the hands. Push down on the forearms, draw the elbows in slightly, and feel like you're pulling the mat back as the heart goes forward. And then draw the shoulders away from the ears and just keep that action. It's kind of like there's a little sunburst in the middle of your heart, and it's just growing bigger and bigger, and the sunburst is just getting brighter. And just imagine that, but it's coming from a deep, deep source. And it's radiating forward and out. It's expanding. About 12 more breaths here. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe relax your neck a little bit. Maybe move the neck around a little bit these last few breaths. Going to the right or the left, you can just move the head. Or even looking side to side, just gently. going to the right or the left, just side to side. In these last 5 breaths, I want you to just breathe through the heart center. Literally just put all the prana, all the breath, all the life force right into your heart. They say that if you can conquer the heart, it's the gateway to bliss. Especially right now, we need to have a full heart, right? For everybody around us. We can't be selfish. And then take a deep, deep breath in. And then sigh out and just reach forward, using your hands as a pillow. Relax. Maybe shaking the booty a little bit. Yes. And then all we're going to do is just roll on our backs. And we're going to end with a actually restorative posture. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your, and you could, if you want to have your head towards me or not, doesn't matter. You're going to take your bolster and you're just going to lay over it. So have your back body, right? And you can sit right on it and just lay down. So this will release the hips, but more of a restorative way. Doesn't matter what you, yeah. And then to start to kind of bring, yeah, just make, yeah, and now lay back and just see how that feels. So it's a restorative bridge in a way. And your legs can go straight out if you feel that that's okay, right? Does that feel good? So we're actually going to do our Shavasana here. Okay, I'll lower the lights. I want you to let go completely. And before you let go completely, I want you to take a big, huge breath in. Inhale deep. And then exhale, sigh it out. Shavasana. keeping your eyes closed. To just come back into the room. And slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a deep breath and just reach your arms above you. Stretch your toes. And then exhale, let it go. Slowly bending your knees and carefully rolling to the right side with the bolster underneath you. And then taking your hands, rooting into the floor, come up, back to a seated position. And just bringing the hands into the center of your heart. And just take a couple breaths right into the heart center, knowing that this is available at any time for you. Just taking moments to tune in. And we'll seal this practice with just one deep breath. We inhale deep, deep, deep. Exhale, sigh it out. Namaste.